through nights I never talked about. Pero mírame ahora, shining anyway. God help me when I felt alone, and now my heart beats louder, brighter, ready to claim everything He promised. No more hiding who I am, no more dimming this glow. He turned my scars into stories, and my stories into fuego. I'm crowned by faith, look at me shining bright. He healed my corazón and helped me win this long fight. I rise con faith, with joy in my veins, dancing out the darkness like it never had my name. Crowned by faith, that's who I am. Crowned by faith, this is my comeback dance.
Oh no. Can you hear me now? Let's see. Can you hear me now? What is happening? Let's see. Can you hear me now? Wait, I can hear myself on here. Hold on. What is happening? Wait, I can hear Hold on. Hold on. We are live. Why can't I turn the sound We are live. off? Why can't I turn? Oh, wrong button. Okay. Who's it? Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. So we have we are live, and that's what happens when we're live. We got to roll with it. But guys, OMG. We are on episode 6. And so if you're like, what is this? And what is going on? This is a show that I have created called Behind the Lyrics. And it airs on my TV streaming platform, Prospera TV Network. We are on, of course, YouTube, Roku. So we air in 17 countries around the world. Roku is also the #1 streaming platform in North America. So if you have Roku, go download the Prospera TV Network app, and we appreciate the support. We are also on stream. We are embedded on websites. Hey, Addie, good evening. Your first one. Awesome. Well, welcome to the new year, and welcome to Behind the Lyrics, Crowned by Faith. So we stream all over, but I need to do this show live. All right. And the reason that I need to do this show live is because it's not about me. Yes, there's my story, my experiences, my lessons learned, but there's messages from my God through it all. And it's for whoever this lands upon, whether it be live, whether it be in the show that airs on Roku, like, I don't know. But if you're new to Crowned by Faith, this is my book, Crowned by Faith. All right. It's a hardback, but it also has a soundtrack that goes with it. And if you, I got notes all in this because I've been, tearing it all apart. But in every chapter, you also see a QR code. That QR code will link you to the website that will allow you to hear the song that goes with the chapter. Now, I'm going to do a disclaimer. I produced the songs. I don't sing. I'm not singing them. We had some AI assistants with that. So I just want you to know that, if somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know you had a voice." I don't, okay? But I have some talent. I have a son that makes beats too. He's a producer. So we've created a soundtrack that goes with the book. Wait, we got some comments coming on here. Yeah, Yada, we are in 17 countries, y'all. And for those of you, my single mamas out there, you got to catch Yada's show. She is a show host on Prosperity TV Network, and her show is called Badass Mama Moves. And she talks about money, faith, finances, the single mama struggle. Like, check out her show. It's every other Thursday. She has a show coming up this Thursday. So just putting it out there. But as far as this is on episode number 6. We covered The Dust Didn't Define Me. That was chapter 1. That was chapter 1 called Carrying Boxes and Broken Promises. If you guys missed that one, you can go back to our YouTube channel and catch all the replays. But that's the one that started it all. That's the one that talked about me picking up the boxes, helping pack my dad's trunk while he moved across the country. I was like 8 years old, and I was left standing in the gravel road. And I kind of was abandoned, but I could go into my home. That was the root of it all. All right. And then we go into chapter 2, and the chapter was called Grandma's Faith, My Foundation. And that song is Mi Abuela, Mi Fe, which is my grandma, my faith. That was chapter 2. Then we evolved into chapter 3, which was called the Quinceañera Promise. And if you don't know what a quinceañera is, when you turn 15 in the Mexican Hispanic culture, you have a big party. It's like a wedding. It's a big reception, church, all the things. And the song for that is called Danced Like a Queen. Then for the 4th week, we jumped ahead. And we jumped ahead to chapter 11. The chapter is called Christmas Eve, but the song is called Silent Night, Broken Heart. And we jumped ahead because that Tuesday was the night before Christmas Eve, just a few weeks ago. And I felt it appropriate to honor that chapter on that episode. So then last week, we fell back in sync, and now we covered Rear View Prayers was the name of the song, and the chapter is titled Running to Love. And that's where we talked about me climbing out my window and running away from home my senior year of high school. Now, all of these in the shower. In the shower. What's in the shower? I don't know who's in the shower. Are you in the shower? Or I don't know. That's dedication if you're listening while you're in the shower. But anyway, so tonight, believe it or not, we are on episode 6, and tonight's chapter is called Accepting What Wasn't Mine. And the song is titled Letting Go. Now, I have to share something with you about why I still get nervous. Every time I got to get in my mental space. It's kind of like you need a hype man over here to get in the zone. And you see the boxers that are in their corner and they got their earbuds on and they're like getting hyped up and warmed up to go out there and do their thing. Well, guys, this is very vulnerable. And this is an assignment God put me on. This is very vulnerable. Many of you know, oh, you can't sing. Yeah, I can't sing. No, I don't even sing in the shower. But many of you know like a tiny piece of my story, but you don't know the whole thing. So it's God put me on this mission this year to actually look at all of these experiences through the lens of God's love. So if you do not have this book, first of all, who has the book? I know most of you that are here, you have the book. If you've read the chapter, Accepting What Wasn't Mine, if you got questions, let me know, because we're just going to throw it all out there, okay? But it's very vulnerable. But here's the thing. To have gotten where I am today, God needed the message to come through. As much as I talk pain to power, as much as I talk about, I love digging into the hard stuff, my life completely changed. A whole new energy space, a little force field surrounded me when I could begin to look at all of my experiences through the lens of God's love. Not me, not my thoughts, not my beliefs, not my opinions, not my wants, not my desires, not my hopes, not my dreams, but God's love. And this whole book is here to help you do the same. In every chapter, there are multiple pieces, and there's actually a workbook that goes alongside the book that helps you dive into your own experiences, your own life pain points, your soul tattoos, your anchor moments, that if you can start looking at through the lens of God's love, man, it's going to change your life. And that's what this is here for. So what we are doing with the episode is I'm going to read little bits and pieces, little paragraphs here and there out of the chapter. We're going to play little clips of the song so that you can understand why the lyrics are what they are. Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Starting with tonight's episode, these next several weeks, they're gonna get deep. They're gonna get hard. You're gonna probably see me cry, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're still stuck in that moment. It means that you're a human being and you feel the feels, okay? It's going to get deep. It might go dark. The music will reflect the same. You don't have to know me. You don't have to have read the book. If you actually listen to the soundtrack from 1 all the way through, you will feel the emotional journey. You will feel that dip down into the darkness, into the pain, into the place I was when I just wanted it all to end. But then you also feel the comeback. You feel the rise. So it's just these next couple weeks, guys, just get ready for it. It might be too heavy for some of you. You might not even want to watch or listen. I don't know. But I'm here to do what my God has told me to do. So are we ready? We are ready. Okay. Addie says, not yet. That's okay, Queen. You can get with me. And who's Quinceañera Sweet 16 in the US. Amen. All right. So accepting what wasn't mine. All right. Let's just start with the clip. Let's play clip 1 first, and I'll just let you guys in on this. Now, I actually have to, yes, you do go for the ride. I have to tell you, this personally is just one of my favorite songs. I could probably say that about every one of them, but this one is personally like one of my favorites. I love deep emotional music. I always have. I've always been an old soul. But this one, it's one that reminds me of my strength and the power of letting go, no matter how hard. Oh, no matter how hard. So let's just get started with the clip.
Standing at the edge where shadows dance and play, counting all the dreams that slipped away, promises made of glass shattered on the floor. I was reaching for a love that was never mine before.
All right. So you can feel the groove that we're going in, right? So just a reminder, last week we talked about me running away. I went from Indiana to Illinois. I went to live with my boyfriend, who was also the one that I met at 14 years old that stood up with me in the quinceañera. And now I'm a senior in high school and I got my driver's license and I'm hightailing it out. And I ran away. That was last week. So now I'm living there. Very different environment, but I'm living there. So that's where we are now. I've picked up my life and I've taken it from everything I once knew and I planted myself in a completely new state, in a completely new home. And that's where I am. All right. So so in the book, I must have come back home for a visit. And it says, back in the same bedroom where I once dreamed of leaving. I sit on the edge of the bed and I look around. The walls are light, the carpet soft under my feet, the furniture polished and new. By all appearances, this is a good life, a beautiful home, the kind of place I once thought meant we'd made it. But as I sit there, it hits me clear as a bell. Somewhere along the way, I tied money to family and love. Where did that even come from? When I'm 8, helping my dad pack his car, I don't know about the drinking or the arguments or the lies and affairs. I only know this one day there are mink coats in kindergarten, ruby rings in first grade, and shiny cars taking me out for ice cream. The next day, my dad is gone, and so is the money, and so is the business. In my little girl logic, success equals loss. Wealth equals abandonment. Money breaks families apart. The thought leaves me confused, so I hold it inside and take it back with me. So what had happened was, that reminds me of you, Yada. See, what had happened was, when I left, and we'll get into some details, but I had a visit home, and as I'm sitting in the bedroom and I'm looking around thinking this is where I was, jumping out my window, this whole idea hit me that I looked at money as the reason my family fell apart. Money was there, and so was all these gifts, but my dad wasn't, and I just held on to that for a while. I didn't know what to do with it. And I don't know where it came from. And at the time, I didn't know why. So I just kept it inside. It didn't make sense to me. And so I just carried on about my business. And so I need that to be clear. We're going from one type of environment to another. And now all of a sudden, these thoughts about money breaking a family apart are in my head. And I don't know where those came from. All right. So let's go into the next clip and then we'll continue talking about where we are at.
Worn out from the way I was breaking down inside, loving through the lies when no truth could abide. A father's choices echo in each hollow space, a family portrait marked in this lingering embrace.
So the whole part of that lyric concept is worn out from the weight I was breaking down inside. I could not understand where this tug of war was now coming into my life. I had made the decision to go. I had wanted to be there. I wanted love. I wanted a family. I didn't want to be alone anymore. But now I'm like, where is all of this money stuff coming in my head? Because really I had none. And, running away from home. And as I'm sitting in the room that I left and realized, like, wow, this is like really a nice room compared to where I'm living now. That was the beginning of confliction that I did not understand. So when I talk about like worn out from the weight, I was breaking down inside. It's because I didn't tell nobody. I didn't know what to do with all this. I kind of felt like I had voices in my head. But I wasn't going to tell anybody. So when it talked about loving through the lies, um, to everybody, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you today? I'm fine. Everything's good. I'm fine. Like, I didn't even know what I was feeling. I didn't know where I fit, where I belong. Nothing was settled within me. So I'm talking about loving through the lies. I just held on to love because I didn't even know what was happening to me. And when it says Father's choices echo in each hollow space, to me, that means like, again, my dad leaving me, my dad, like, that was his choice. And all I felt was just this emptiness in each hollow space. If I went back home, I was going to be alone. I'm living here, but I feel like I'm in a state of lack. Like, I just didn't know, where do I belong? And so when it talks about a family portrait marred in this lingering embrace, I didn't have one. That's how I felt. I felt like if you were supposed to take a family portrait with me in it, I didn't know who was supposed to be in it. I felt that alone. So that's just really important to understand. And at that time, I'm still a senior in high school. I'm tug of war back and forth, and it was just a crazy, crazy place. So during, let's see here, where are we at? During one of my next visits, months later, my mom takes me to the store. She buys me toiletries, and I reach for a new brand of shampoo, the one everyone's been talking about. It smells pretty, but not too sweet, and clean and special. And remember, I had like hair that was like past my back. So it's like, oh my gosh, this shampoo just made my hair smell amazing. And with my long curly dark hair, it just felt like luxury. So it was so crazy to me that just a simple small bottle of shampoo that wasn't like on the clearance rack to get whatever I could get, hey Tina Queen, that it was actually like a luxury shampoo. It was new at the time. God, that made me feel so special. And then you sit back and think, okay, but in kindergarten, I went to school in mink coats. In first grade, I got scared because I lost a ruby ring on the playground. And now I'm like so excited over a nice bottle of shampoo. It's freaking nuts, right? It was just nuts. So back at her house, I can't wait to shower. A long, hot one without fear of the water running cold or someone waiting in line. I close my eyes and let the steam rise, washing away more than dirt. The scent follows me everywhere, on my shoulders, on my pillow, and I never expected something so small to make me feel human again. Now, the reason this is in there and that it is so important is because now I'm starting to actually identify the sacrifice, I guess. I guess I'm starting to identify the things I really did leave behind. And even though they might have seemed superficial, like just a nice bottle of shampoo, but that space of, I don't have to, wait in line to catch a shower in the one house that has all these people living in it, like with one bathroom. And it just was a really weird place for me to be, because that had become my family. That had become my love, my life. And now I was in this place of, do I choose to be alone and come back to have nicer things again? Like it was just a crazy. I need that shampoo. Hey, it was the first brand of Pantene. I did put that in the book. Somebody had asked the very first bottles of Pantene. I don't know if you guys remember the very first bottles. They were only like little bottles, and they even had like gold on the cap. Like it was luxury shampoo. So if you got long hair, get the old Pantene. So as we talk about this next clip, I'm going to go ahead and read the section so that you can then listen to it. So it says, that lie about money burrows deep, and it stays hidden, and it shapes my choices for years. With my first love, I build a life where pots and bowls catch rain through a leaking roof in our bedroom. The room is dim, but I can see the water glimmer in the light, in the little light there is. Different sizes sing their own sounds, like a thin ping on the metal and a low thud against plastic. You know how when you hear water dripping in like a Tupperware, it's like, it makes that thud. Okay, well, we had pots and bowls and like across the bedroom floor. That was our bedroom. If it rained outside, it was raining on our faces while we tried to sleep. Towels heavy with water slapping on the floor. You know how you get a wet towel and the water hits that and it makes that noise? I mean, I could hear all of these things. Sometimes the drip wakes me when it hits my cheek. I tell myself, this is the important part. I tell myself I'm choosing simplicity, but I'm really choosing lack. I convince myself that love lives in struggle, that loyalty means sacrifice, that carrying more than my share proves my devotion. Now, I share that because I want you to think in your own situations. How much have we sacrificed of ourselves, of our hopes, our dreams, our desires, our success, like whatever it be, because we think that just proves how much we love somebody? Not understanding that if that love was truly reciprocated, it would never even have to go there. Even if you did struggle, at least you would be struggling together to make things better. But in my case, it wasn't. I found a job. I worked. I collected a paycheck while he chased his dream with his family. You know, and when I think about when I would meet people, new coworkers, you know, I'm still growing up, I'm doing the responsible thing. I didn't even know what to tell them. I didn't know if I told them I didn't know anybody in the town because I ran away from home. Like, I didn't know what to even say. So I never really got close to anybody because I was ashamed. I didn't want to tell people I ran away, but I really couldn't tell people I had lived there my whole life. And I really couldn't tell people that my family moved there. So it was just a really lonely place to be. So there are different types of lonely. Lonely because you're alone, and lonely because nobody truly gets you and understands you. And that's where I was in that specific time. And I want you to listen to this next clip. Oh, I need to show my hair picture again. Let me see here. I'll be able to bring it. Here it is. That was the hair that loved the Pantene shampoo. You could imagine if I took that clip down, there was hair all over the place. So I love that. All right. So let's listen to this clip right here.
I tried to save the world, but I was losing me, chasing empty shadows, never could be free, searching for connections in the arms of the lost, wishing on a star while forgetting the cost.
All right. So you can hear through that beginning part of where I was feeling like I'm trying to save the world, meaning I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to make money that I can make for us. I'm trying to do it all, but I was losing me. And I'm sure we've all been there. I know I'm not the only one that has felt that way. And then it's saying, chasing empty shadows, never could be free, searching for connections. I was still just lost. I had found a family. And I had found a home that was full of noise and activity and people that were there, but I still was lost. And this is why we start going on this emotional journey, because when I look at from all the years of my life, and I'm sure you can relate, that were met with pain, mistakes, failures, heartache, like you name it. And honestly, it's because for years I was lost. I was trying to find myself in other people, other places, other experiences, and they never served me well because I hadn't found myself. I kept running to love. I kept running to hoping that somebody would give me what, like almost like answer like this missing question. Whatever's missing, they would fill it. They would find it. They would fix it. But how could they when I didn't even recognize it? This is the start of all of that. And that's why I say these next couple weeks are going to get heavy. They're going to get heavy. So I don't have language for survival mode yet. I can't separate wanting more from being ungrateful. So I want you to think about that too. I felt like, how dare me want more? How selfish of me to think I deserve anything better. I didn't know the difference. So I almost started beating myself up when I found myself not being grateful for the rain falling on my face when I fell asleep at night. That's not my heart. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just long for a life that reflects my worth, a life that matches the love and effort I keep pouring out. Now, the other thing I need you to understand is I wrote this just months ago. That statement comes from being able to look back and reflect. That's what I was feeling back then, but I didn't know it. And that's why sometimes it's important to go back and look at those times in your life, because you can see them differently. You'll actually begin to remember them differently. And you can change the way they impact your life moving forward. So when I get back to Illinois, I try to change things. I ask him to move with me to Indiana. For a while, he does. But the pull of the old life is stronger, and he goes back. And me, I follow. Because back then, I think following is love. Then the moment that shatters it, another girl, a pregnancy, and a baby that isn't mine. That's where this chapter's going. Accepting what wasn't mine. Now we're going to get into the pain point. And so let's listen to this next little piece.
Not mine to hold, not mine to claim.
So there we go. Hey, Tish Queen. Hey, Christina. You needed validation. Amen. So here we go. This is the heart of probably my life course changing forever. And sometimes I have learned God will allow things that hurt tremendously, that break your heart, to get you on the path that is meant for you, to pull you from a place that is not for you. Sometimes we feel we know where we're supposed to be, and when he sees the bigger picture, he will make sure that that doesn't happen. And most times the only way that that can happen is for something big to blow your world up, right? True. Thank you, God. Amen. So here we go. This is the start of it all. And yep, I'm putting it all out there. I ain't got nothing to hide. It's not mine to hold, not mine to be ashamed of. So then the moment that shatters it, another girl, a pregnancy, a baby that isn't mine. I can still hear the sentence that branded me. I just wanted to know what a white girl with long legs felt like. I will never forget that. And I don't say that to mean anything bad about anyone. But if you all know me, I'm like 4'10" and a half. I'm a shorty and I'm Mexican. I'm brown. And I'll never forget when we had that conversation and he said, I just wanted to know what a white girl with long legs felt like. And I didn't even know what to do with that. As if years, and I'm talking years of sacrifice and devotion can be shrugged off as curiosity. My heart breaks, but I stay. Leaving him feels like leaving the only family I've ever truly known. I tell myself I can love this child as my own. I tell myself betrayal can be overcome. I tell myself staying is strength. I felt the harder it hurts, the more pain that it brings. And if I can endure that, man, I'm strong. Not once did I consider saying, I'm out of here. I didn't. Until the night I walk into a reception hall where he's setting up to play. Remember, he was in a band. Cables snake across the floor. The air conditioning hums. Too cold. I look up at the stage and see them. A little boy with dark black hair. A woman with light colored hair holding him. And the man I love, my boyfriend, standing with them. The child looks just like his daddy. Now, that moment of impact, that soul tattoo, that shock, right? It's a forever imprint, and we all have those. We all have those moments in our life. And in that moment, it was a defining moment, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. Let's listen to the next little clip. Hola, Mari.
Now I see the truth with eyes wide open wide. No one else defines me. No need to hide inside. Step by step I'm rising. In the light I find my soul. Unclenching fists of sorrow. My heart begins to roll.
All right. Now, the key line, and my sister will appreciate this one, that very last piece that says, my heart begins to roll, that's from my dad. His whole thing was, do what makes you roll. And in that moment, I kind of started a path of like destruction because I was just rolling with it. I threw my hands up. However, God showed up in that moment for me. So we're at the reception hall. They're startled to see me. I'm more startled to see them. I can't stay. My legs move before my mind does. I turn and I walk out, and my heart is pounding so hard I can actually hear it in my ears. One of his brother follows me out. He was loading up, he was setting up for the band too. And so he looked up, he saw me too. We all froze, like everybody froze in time. And as I just turned and walked out, his brother came running down off of the stage and followed me out and said the only thing that he could think of quickly. He said, let's go get some pizza. He said, let's go get some pizza, trying to just soften the moment and get me out of there and make sure that I'm not alone. I know he means well, but all I feel is shame. Somehow, I've absorbed the lie that I'm the one who's done something wrong. Think about that. I feel like I did something wrong by showing up and finding them there. Like, why? I think about that now looking back, and why? Why did I always feel like I had to accommodate or apologize for or make things right? I've always been that way. Why? Is it because my dad left and because all I wanted is to be loved, and I thought the only way to be loved is just to really accept what anybody does so that nobody gets mad and walks away? Like, why? Right? So into that ache, God whispers. Everything happens in this world at the time I choose. Now, I have to share this piece because I didn't write it in the book. It didn't really flow. But once I left and once I ran out, I was staying in a hotel because where they were playing, like we were all out of town, and I came in. I thought I was doing a good thing and surprising and everything. So I went back to my room by myself and I dropped to my knees. But now remember, living in this new family environment, we read the Bible regularly. Remember that when I told you about me and his dad, that he got me reading the Bible regularly? So I had my Bible with me. I carried it with me everywhere I went at that time. And when I got back to my hotel room by myself, I fell to my knees and I just opened a page. And right there is where it said, everything that happens in this world happens at the time God chooses. That's exactly what it said. And the way that it made it in the book was just a little bit altered. So it was like God was holding up a mirror to me. But he allowed me to see that their picture didn't include me. And that hurt. But I was able to see it. It didn't include me. My future isn't in that snapshot. My worth isn't in his hands. After nearly 7 years, I finally let go. Not because I stopped loving him, but because God tells me it's time. So early on, I have learned that when God speaks in the way that God speaks, we're faced with the choice. We don't have to listen. We don't have to do what he suggests or recommends or lays opportunity in front of us. He gave us free will. So it doesn't matter to him what we do. I always say this. He loves the homeless addict on the bench as much as he loves the millionaire in the high rise. Like, it doesn't matter to him. He gave us free will. But he does know what he created us for, and he will lay opportunities in front of us to take those steps to develop into who we were created to be. But if we choose a different way, we're not surprising him. We're not showing him something that he's like, oh, wow, I've never seen that before. I didn't know that was going to happen. He knows. And he loves us anyway. So at that moment, it broke my heart. But he also told me, this is happening right now because I'm choosing it to happen. And you have a decision to make. You can let go or hang on. Either way, it's going to hurt. And I chose to let go. That's why this song is called Letting Go. Now, let's be clear. Just because you decide something doesn't mean like, boom, feelings off. Let's move happy-go-lucky. Nah, I spiraled. It got dark. And we'll get into that here in a minute. So don't get me wrong. I didn't say like, oh yeah, I just made the decision. I decided to let go. I packed up, went back home, carried on. Everything was fine and blah, blah, blah. Not the case. Not the case. But I had to make a decision, and it was like choosing to walk through hell. It hurt. My heart broke. It caused physical pain. Like, I physically ached from this love just being shattered, right? So let's go into this one next clip here.
I stand for the little girl who tried to earn a heart, no longer weighing love against a world torn apart. Self-compassion whispers, I am worthy just because. In the mirror's reflection, I can finally pause. My heart is no longer burdened by the tales of the past. In this moment of release, I find my love at last.
All right. So that's a lot packed into those lyrics. And you know, when it says, I stand for the little girl who tried to earn a heart, I can now look back and say, I was fighting for her. I was fighting for that little girl whose heart broke at 8 years old. I was fighting for that young woman whose heart broke in her early 20s. Like, I was standing for that little girl. And I still stand for her today. I still fight for her today because there's times that she doesn't want to believe she's worthy. There's times that she still doubts her beauty, her worthiness of love. I stand for that little girl. And when it talked about my heart is no longer burdened by the tales of the past, in this moment of release, I find my love at last. That's my G-O-D. My true love, my main man, the one that has been the constant there for me from day one, my ride or die, is my G-O-D, my God. And when I've spent half of my life seeking that kind of love from other broken human beings, man, I wish I could go back and tell her at 8 years old, the only love that you need is the love from your God. But who knows that? at 8 years old. Nobody really knows that. So those are some of the lines that's where I was coming from, of who I am today, able to look back at that experience and to love her through it. And I'm thinking I'm kind of badass today because I can look at it all from that lens. And what is that lens? It's the lens of God's love. So so I moved back home. Okay. Obviously, I moved back home. Thank goodness for my mom. She's got the revolving door. I've been in and out of my mom's house more times than I can count, right? So I moved back home. It's the right thing, even if it's complicated. Reading the Bible out loud isn't really a thing here. Remember, I only started doing that when I moved there and could read the Bible with his dad. My parents, they have faith, but in our house, it's easier to pour drinks than open scripture. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we just weren't the type of family that would sit around the table and open a Bible. But it's easier to just kind of hang out and have some drinks and talk and have a great time, right? So, they worry I got brainwashed. They prefer seeing me go out and have fun. So that's the thing, I wanted to stay in. I wanted to read my Bible. Even if I wanted to be depressed. And, they're thinking like, okay, where did my daughter go? And this is not you. And we need to get you out. We need to get you out. We need to get you socializing. We need to get you doing things. So it was confliction. And so they wanted to see me go out and have fun. So I do it privately and alone, more like quiet prayers in my room. And when the silence gets heavy, I numb the way I learned, like my father, like the younger me, with alcohol. I even think it's cool to drink Budweiser because that's what my dad drank. And if I'm drunk, I don't feel it as much. So looking back, I see what I couldn't then. Money isn't the enemy. My worth isn't measured by how much I can endure. Love isn't proven by how much pain I can take. It's revealed in the truth I accept. But God isn't finished with me. Not then, not ever. So as we get moving into these chapters forward, I spiraled. So I want to make it very clear that I made the choice to let go. I made that choice to move back home because I knew it was the right one, but it's not one that I wanted. It's not what I wanted for my life. It's not what my heart wanted, but my mind knew I had to. And I spiraled. And this is the brink of years of destruction, years of heartbreak, turmoil, conflict. Like even if it starts to get better here and there, it never went away, and it caused a lot of bad decisions. And so I want to say, if you're going to ride this journey with me, buckle up, because the next couple of weeks are going to get there. We're going to go deep. All right. We're going to listen to one more clip real quick. And then I want to go into our crowned truth and looking at things through the lens of God's love.
Here's to letting go as I turn and walk away, finding peace inside me where the shadows fade to gray, accepting what was never mine to carry. I'll be free in the dawn of self-love. I uncover the real me.
So those lyrics are coming from what I know now. looking back, what I know now, accepting what was never mine to carry. That was never my child. That was never my responsibility. That was never something I should have sacrificed myself for. So I accept that. I receive that. And by letting go, I'm free. I'll be free. And in the dawn of self-love, I uncovered the real me. And so sometimes that discovery of self, that's hell. That's hard. And I'm not here to tell anybody what they should be doing or make it seem like I've got it all figured out now. I am here to say I was a hot mess. I'm still a hot mess. Like every single day, there's ups and downs, things happen. But I want to be an example to show you of what God has been able to do for me, even with the pain, right? Wow. Thank you, Elena. You're a beautiful soul. Thank you, Esther. Keith. Oh, hey, Keith, my girls. Oh, that's so sweet. So let's talk about looking at this chapter through the lens of God's love. Because we gotta talk about that. That's the whole purpose of this book, is taking experiences, but how did it look from God's viewpoint? Even when it felt dark and blurred by uckiness, God was still there. He's going to let us go through some things because it helps develop us into who he actually has us here to become. So through the lens of God's love, I see that what once felt like punishment was protection. At 20, losing him feels like losing everything, right? I think staying proves my worth, and leaving proves I'm unlovable. So do you see, I felt like if I stayed, then he'll I'm going to stick with it and we'll get through this because he loves me. And I just felt like if I left, then he won, and I really must be unlovable. But real love never demands my silence, my sacrifice, or my shrinking. That's through God's words. Real love never demands silence, sacrifice, or shrinking. Through the lens of God's love, I recognize the lies I believed about money, success, and loyalty. They were never God's truth. I am not destined for lack. I am not called to prove myself through pain. Love is meant to lift, not lessen. So these are what I'm writing here are things he's sharing with me because it's through his lens that he's allowed me to see these things. I didn't, not for myself. So I see God letting me walk through heartbreak to chisel away false beliefs and reveal my true worth. What I thought I lost was only what was never mine to keep. What remains is unshakable. I am his daughter, loved beyond betrayal, which, stick around, betrayal shows up again, chosen beyond circumstance, held in his timing. Even the drip, drip, drip of that leaking roof and the small grace of Pantene in my hair become reminders. He is teaching me to open my hands so his love can flow freely. So all of that is what God was able to reveal to me and that I'm here to share with you. And again, my story, it's just that. These are my experiences. This is the life that I've gone through. What that looks like for you in your life, I don't know. I don't know. But I know that if you open up to ask him, what does this look like through your lens, God, your lens of love, he will show you. He will tell you. but you have to want to know. All right. So before we wrap up, the crowned truth. This is the end of every chapter. And this is the overall message that is in general for everyone to take away. Settling for less than you deserve isn't love. It's fear designed as loyalty. That's huge. I remember when that flowed out. It made me sit and pause for a minute because that sentence made me cry. That's why I say, like, this is a divine assignment. I went through more writing it because it was more filtered to me. I wasn't sitting there trying to think of like, oh, what can I say here? It was like being said to me. Settling for less than you deserve isn't love. It's fear disguised as loyalty. True love doesn't ask you to lose yourself. It asks you to grow into who you were always meant to be. When you accept, or what you accept out of love can sometimes cost you your peace. False beliefs can chain us longer than circumstances ever could. So grasp that too. False beliefs, those can chain us longer than an actual circumstance. Because I believed I wasn't worthy of love, because I believed everyone would leave me, because I believed that money broke my family apart, because I believed these things, I hurt myself longer than a certain circumstance. If I'd have seen a circumstance for what it was, I would have been gone so much sooner. But it was my own belief system. When we surrender illusions about money, love, or worth, we make space for God's truth to set us free. God never asks you to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's choices. He calls you to stand tall in the truth of your worth. Now, I got to read that part again. God never asks you to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's choices. He calls you to stand tall in the truth of your worth. And this is why we've got a comment here. Gotta read it. Gina says, oh my God, this is my current living truth right now, sissy. This is truly meant for me right now too. I know it. I know it. Then I love you, sissy. Thank you for being here for these moments, because I need you just as much as I know God is using me to reach you and whoever else needs these. So this is where the whole start of this book really, it became so challenging for me. This is why I say there were nights I was up till 4 a.m. There were nights, as the music is flowing through me, I'm like bawling. Like, Charles, my husband, he just got used to going to bed and saying like, see you when I see you. But you know what? He gave me the space. He didn't ask me to shrink it down. He didn't ask me to change it. He didn't get upset. That's love. So as I was able to experience that, and God is sharing this, it was hard for me because it made me sad. It made me sad for that little girl who never believed differently. For that little girl who endured so much heartache and mistook it for strength. And because she had to be so strong, because she had to repeatedly pick up the pieces, and that endurance got tougher and tougher, and she could go harder and longer, she felt proud. She felt like, strong. And all the while, the softness in her, that's the part that breaks my heart. She was never designed to have to be that way. And so if you have been in that survival mode, you've been in that space of endurance, you've been in that place. Sometimes circumstance puts you there, but then sometimes choice keeps you there. The hard thing is it's so scary to be able to decipher the difference. And because it's not going to feel good to step out, you choose to just stay put. And that's why when God said you can have the pain of this or you can have the pain of this, but either way, it's going to hurt. So why not choose the hurt that you can heal and recover from than the one that you choose to replay day after day after day? And that's the message for today. So as I like to close up all of them, we're going to read our closing prayer. Every chapter has a closing prayer. And again, guys, if you have not gotten your copy and you want to get your copy of the book, we just got a bunch in after Christmas. They're back in stock. You can go to crownbyfaithcollective.com. There's a button right on top that says get the book, because we got lots of chapters to go. But as we close out reading our prayer, then as you know, I'm going to play the whole song. And that will wrap us up. Esther says, I love you, my beautiful nieces, Elena and Gina. Thank you for sharing your gifts. Thank you, Aunt Esther. All right, so here's our closing prayer, guys. I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you're watching the replay and comments or questions come up, please share them. And then also remember, you can go back to our YouTube channel on Prospera TV Network and catch all the previous episodes. And we're here every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern live. And so here we go. Dear God, thank you for giving us courage to release what was never ours to keep. Thank you for replacing false beliefs with your truth. For the one reading this, show them their worth isn't tied to betrayal, sacrifice, or scarcity, but to you alone. Heal the places where loyalty turned to pain. Remind them your timing is perfect, and every release is an invitation to receive something better. Let them step forward, not in fear, but in freedom, crowned by your love. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. And here's the full song.
Standing at the edge, where shadows dance and play, counting all the dreams that slipped away. Promises made of glass, shattered on the floor. I was reaching for a love that was never mine before. Worn out from the weight, I was breaking down inside, loving through the lies when no truth could abide. A father's choices echo in each hollow space, a family portrait marked in this lingering embrace. Not mine to hold, while forgetting the cost. Now I see the truth with eyes wide open wide. No one else defines me, no need to hide inside. Step by step I'm rising, in the light I'll find my soul. Unclenching fists of sorrow, my heart begins to roll. Not mine to hold, not mine to claim, carrying the burden of another shame. Letting go of chains that never felt like gold. In this quiet moment I'll find my heart so bold. Oh, the sunrise paints the sky with colors bittersweet. A gentle breeze of freedom whispers at my feet. I release the stories written in the dark, embracing the peace that could light up a spark. Grief transformed to wisdom like a river flows wide. I'm reclaiming who I am, no longer to divide. I stand for the little girl who tried to earn a heart, no longer weighing love against a world torn apart. Self-compassion whispers I am worthy just because. In the mirror's reflection I can finally pause. My heart is no longer burdened by the tales of the past. In this moment of release I find my love at last. Not mine to hold, not mine to claim, carrying the burden of another shame. Letting go of chains that never felt like gold. In this quiet moment I'll find my heart so bold. So here's to letting go as I turn and walk away, finding peace inside me where the shadows fade to gray. Accepting what was never mine to carry, I'll be free. In the dawn of self-love I uncover the real